Hey, I wanted you to meet a new little critter that I met. This is Butterscotch, and he is probably the cutest guinea pig I have ever met. He's enjoying a snack of carrot, as you can tell. He's so friendly. He belongs to Miss Gina Porter and her girls, and we stopped by to meet Butterscotch. He's kind of big, and when I was growing up, I had a hamster, and hamsters are much smaller than this. He has a cage. He has to stay within the boundaries of his cage. And they have a few rules. One of them, Mr. Butterscotch cannot run all over their house just anytime he wants to. He has a cage. And Mr. Butterscotch has to eat the food he's been given, right? Do you have rules and laws that you have to follow? Sure you do. That's why you're attending school or being homeschooled. There's lots of laws and rules that we follow each and every day. Some we don't even think about. I know when I'm driving, I have to pay attention to the speed limit. Maybe you've been in the car and your mom or dad has been actually stopped because they weren't obeying the speed limit. In our lesson today, we pick up with the Israelites, and they have run from Pharaoh. They're in the desert. God has guided them through the day with a huge cloud, and he has guided their way at night with a huge fire in the sky. And after they have survived being chased by Pharaoh, remember they walked across the river on dry land, and Pharaoh was taken out by God when the waters went back together. And now they've traveled in the desert, and God has decided that he is going to give Moses some rules and some laws for the people to live by. Not because he's a mean God, but because he wants them to be happy and have peace, right? Imagine if there was no speed limit on the road. Can you imagine people just racing by crazy and accidents and chaos? There might be a rule or two that we don't like, but rules and laws are in place so that we can live together comfortably and peaceably. And so I'm going to take a break and put this little fella back in his cage, and I'll pick back up and we'll finish this awesome story. I'll be right back. Bye, Mr. Butterscotch. What a sweet little fella.
Hi, boys and girls. I hope you're having a wonderful week. It's Wednesday already. Boy, does the time go fast. I wanted to let you know that we are all thinking about you and praying for you and hoping that your schoolwork is going really well from home and that we miss you so much. Well, this week, I know you're excited to hear the Bible story that Miss Ginger is going to tell you about Moses. Do you know that God gave Moses the 10 Commandments on 2 stone, they look like this, 2 stone tablets they were called. And those were given by God to the Israelites so they could follow God's laws. Isn't that so special that God would do that? That he would give them laws so that they could follow them and obey them and show that they love God by obeying him? Do you know that you can show God that you love him by obeying him and obeying your parents too? Well, God is so good to us, isn't he? He provides for us. He gives us everything that we need, our friends, our food, this beautiful weather we're having. And he just loves us so much, and he just wants us to love him and obey him. So, before Miss Ginger gives her story, the verse this week, and I hope you're memorizing all the verses that we have to study every single week. The verse today comes from Matthew. Maybe some of you have the name Matthew. Wouldn't that be really cool? But it's from the book of Matthew, and The chapter is 22 and the verse is 37. And it says, Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, and love him with all your minds. And boys and girls, it is so important that we do that every day, that we just love Jesus with everything that we have. And you know what? Even before you get up every day, sometimes you can just stay in your bed for a few minutes and just thank Jesus for everything he's done for you. So we miss you, we love you, we're thinking about you. I hope you're checking your mailboxes for your postcards and letters. And Miss Ginger, here she comes.
Thanks, Michelle, for sharing our Bible verse for this week. So this week we are still talking about the life of Moses and what's going on with the children of Israel. If you have missed a video, just make sure that you go back and watch it, because each week we're just connecting with the story that we were already doing. And don't forget that you're watching the videos so you can check out each week. Miss Ginger has a different animal in it. And if you can tell me at the end of the 6 weeks, you will get a surprise in your mailbox from Miss Ginger if you can name all of the animals that I had in my video. So make sure you go back and check those videos out. So, speed review really quick. The children of Israel have escaped Pharaoh, the evil ruler. Moses led them out. God was leading them. If you remember, he was leading them with this amazing giant cloud during the day and then fire at night. How cool would that be? Sometimes I walk over to the neighbor's house across the street after dark. I don't like walking in the dark by myself. I carry a big flashlight. But God had this giant cloud. How cool would that be if I had a big cloud of fire to light the way across to the neighbors? That'd be really cool. So anyway, they get out of Egypt. God is leading them. Moses is leading them, and he's listening to God. God is giving them direction. And they've been traveling and traveling and traveling. And God says to Moses, I've got some really important things to tell you. I want to teach the people how to live, and I want them to know who I am. And so Moses goes up on this mountain, Mount Sinai, and he says, go down and tell the people to prepare. I'm going to come to the mountain in a cloud, and they don't need to try to come up. I am a holy and perfect God. No one can come up near me, but I am going to give you a set of rules for the people to live by so that everyone can live together peaceably. Excuse me. And to follow these rules to honor me. Sometimes we hear the word rules and we think, man, I don't like rules. I got rules in every part of my life. You know what, guys? You never grow out of having someone above you that has a set of instructions or a set of rules or some laws that you have to follow. That never changes, but they're very important. Take, for instance, if you watch football or basketball, all right, girls, just hang tight with me, and you watch these games, and what if there was no rules? What if there wasn't an out of bounds? What if there wasn't a rule where you couldn't injure the other player intentionally? What if you just got to kick the football either direction or shoot the basketball whatever direction that you wanted? It would be absolute chaos. Nobody would understand what was going on. And so God created these people, and God knew best exactly what they needed on how to live, on how to be safe, but most of all, on how to be content and happy. Because boys and girls, when we do things that we're not supposed to do, like lie, cheat, steal, take someone else's life, use God's name in vain. Are these starting to sound a little familiar? It makes us unhappy because we feel this guilt and this shame, and we're doing something against someone else that God loves and that he created. And so God calls Moses up on the mountain, And he gave him what you know and I know as the 10 commandments. And so I'm going to cover the first 4 with you, but wait. There's a little surprise at the end of this video. For those of you, a lot of you might know Miss Penny if you've ever been to Nick at Night. She does a lot with me. We did a little surprise piece at the end of this story that you won't want to miss. And trust me, you'll get a really good laugh out of it. So anyway, back to our story. So Moses goes up on the mountain, and God gives him a set of rules called the 10 Commandments, because these people needed to be able to live together peaceably while they were traveling together. And I'm in Exodus chapter 20, and it says, and God spoke all of these words. Now, don't forget, when Miss Ginger reads out of the Bible, this actually happened, okay? So it says, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Remember, Pharaoh was holding them hostage. Number 1, you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them and worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. So, back then, they would make idols. And they would bow down and they would worship them like there was God. And God's letting them know, you know what? There's only one true God, and that's me. God is the only one that could have saved Israel and that could have done all of those miracles and rescued them. Remember our word up? God is powerful. And he's reminding them, I did that for you, and I'm the only one. So from here on out, children of Israel, don't be worshiping any idol, any monument, any crazy thing that you're going to bow down to. I'm the one true God. Boys and girls, sometimes today our idols look a little bit different. Like maybe an Xbox, or a cell phone, or a brand new bike we got. We can put anything before God. And so that's a really important question that we need to ask ourselves. Is there anything in my life that is more important to me than God? All right, let's keep reading. Do not use the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold any guiltless who misuses his name. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. If you're using a sentence and you say, oh my God, well, if you weren't actually talking about your God, that's using the Lord's name in vain. And so we need to be careful about that, because God's name is holy and God is holy. And we want to be very, very respectful of that, right? Okay. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you will work and do all of your work, but on the 7th day, that is the Sabbath, to the Lord your God. On it, you shall not do any work, neither you nor your son or your daughter. And so the Bible is saying, use the 7th day to rest. Worship God, keep that day holy and set apart. So if you remember in the beginning, in creation, God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. And then on the 7th day, what did he do? He rested. God wants us to set apart a day where we rest and we focus on him. And so that was another commandment that he had. Okay, so let's review the 4 commandments that we're going over just for this week, okay? Number 1, You should have no other gods before me. There's only one true God, right? And that's God. Number 2, do not bend your knee to any other idol, right? We said don't worship any idols. Number 3, don't use God's name in vain or misuse his name like you're saying a curse word, okay? And then number 4, don't forget to keep Sundays or the Sabbath as a holy day, the Lord's day, and to rest, okay? This week we're going to cover we're covering just the first 4. If you know, we got 6 more to go, okay? All right. So check out this crazy video that me and Miss Penny recorded. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure that you touch base with your small group leader, and don't forget to tune in for next week's lesson. It's getting pretty exciting. Bye. My name is Ginger, and this is my friend, and we're going to rap God's perfect 10.
I'm your God exclusively. There is no other God but me.
Worship me only, no image will do. Would you rather I bless a rock or you?
Be careful how you use my name. I'm God. Respect me, don't take it in vain.
Keep the Sabbath day holy. Worship, rest, and take it slowly.
Don't disrespect your parents. That is wrong. Honor, love them, live well and long.
Don't take a life, that's not my will. That's why I say, do not kill.
When you marry, you vow to one another. Don't go out looking for any other.
Be honest and trusting in all you do. Take nothing that doesn't belong to you.
To bear false witness is a serious lie. Be truthful in all that you imply.
Don't covet and want your neighbor's stuff. What God gave you, it is enough.
That's a wrap on God's perfect 10.
Now honor and obey them.